Thank you, Chairman. Minister, I want to congratulate you on how you're leading out your department. I think you're doing a great job. You've been down in County Clare many times, and you've been a good friend to the county. Plenty of funding, and in particular, I'm delighted to see our digital hubs now enabling people to work in high-tech, smart and farmer companies here in Dublin, yet domiciled in County Clare and able to nip down to the local village, work remotely, but be very much connected to a global market and indeed to a global network of colleagues. Minister, I suppose I regret. I would love Fianna Fáil to have taken on your ministry. I think we should have had it. But however you're in the job, you are doing a good job, and your colleagues are laughing there. But look, maybe something should be up for discussion. I think Michael Ring. I think Deputy Michael Ring is mad to get his hands in that ministry too, I would think. There's just a few points I wish to make. Minister, TII have stepped in quite recently with regard to the Clare County Development Plan. The County Development Plan at the moment is in a state of flux. They have said there should be no planning for one-off houses on national and regional roads. Now that makes perfect sense most of the time, except for in a county like Clare. When you go west of Ennis, you have the N67, N68, N85. Pretty much every inch of roadway as you go west of Ennis is designated as a regional or national road. So that becomes very unworkable when you start thinking of villages like Connolly, Inch, or larger settlements like Lissy Casey. That can no longer now grow again. The rule heretofore was that it was a case-by-case basis. An awful lot of plannings were thrown out, rightly so, because it was unsafe to build at certain locations. But now we have a blanket ban. And I think you as Minister, whilst it mightn't be in your line department, you need to be a defender of that policy. Let each application be gauged on its own merits, on a case-by-case basis. If it's unsafe, throw it out, refuse it. If it is safe, let's entertain it. Let's at least look at that application. Because if we come down on that with one hard fells rule, it denies so many people west of Ennis and into the North County the opportunity to build and live rurally. I think that should be the essence of your department, the ability to live rurally, the ability of rural communities to thrive and to succeed. The other thing I just want to mention, Minister, is that of the Bord Pleanála backlog. I've recently said to Minister Darragh O'Brien, I think it would be a great idea for files from certain counties, for example, County Monaghan, that the files from that county could be sent to County Clare. The files from Clare could be sent to Wexford and vice versa, so that files are assessed by very skilled, highly qualified planning technicians in other counties, and then the board would go off and be the ratifier as per normal. But at the moment, this backlog of files waiting assessment and then files waiting sign-off at board level is simply unworkable. I think we have resources in local authorities akin somewhat to the Leaving Cert oral examinations, where an examiner comes from outside a county, assesses, goes back, and it's ratified then by the State Examinations Board. I think that should be looked at. I do need to state in the record I have a planning file myself before Bord Pleanála, so in the interest of transparency, just to put that on record. Minister, the rural sewage pilot scheme that's also being led by Minister Darragh O'Brien, and indeed rural water schemes, these have to be key in terms of realising the potential of housing for all. You can talk all about overshop living and Cree Conagh and all of those other initiatives. Affordable housing is so important, and the accelerated delivery of social housing. But until villages have a public infrastructure of sewage and water, they cannot accept or they cannot fulfil the requirement for new development. That certainly needs to be led. Others have made the points relating to the local improvement scheme. I do want to state that as well. I was a councillor myself for 16 years before getting elected to here, and it's very obvious year on year, whilst the budget allocation to Clare and other counties is generous, you're only tipping the iceberg in terms of what you're actually able to do in a calendar year. And roads need to be maintained once in every 10 years in that cycle in order to keep them in good condition. Very finally, have I till 9 minutes, is it?
10 seconds.
I have 10 seconds. The herd cull. I culled a short-horn cow last week because she was 13 years old, lame, unwell. That's the type of animal traditionally has been culled. We should not cull a good national herd. We'll live to regret it many years from now. Thank you, Minister.